the happiest of new days. It is Jada OCA. But one of the very first videos, and I think a very important thing that I talked about, and it's all aligning, is boundaries, all right? But I think I want to do it like, think of it another way. I mean, obviously, I'm an avid inner world explorer. I spend a lot of time inside my head, inside my world, and I'm changing that. But as well as another thing I recognize is a lot of times we talk about boundaries, placing boundaries on other people outside of ourselves. And the reason why I say everything's aligning is I talked about this in therapy today about boundaries, a different type of boundaries, right? And for me, I recognize that self-control is a boundary that I need to instill within ourselves. Boundaries are not only external that we place on other things. A very good boundary that we need to start thinking about for ourselves is placing boundaries on ourselves, right? Self-control. Self-control is like a boundary, right? And that's what I'm working on, is having more self-control and realizing that it is not me restricting myself. It's almost having the energy of my vision being focused in, you feel me? And it makes it way more powerful when you're focused. Because think about it, it's like with a magnifying glass. I'm sure, when you was a kid, you used a magnifying glass, you saw the concentration of the light from the sun being fine-tuned to this fine point, to the point where it can start a fire from the magnification of just light. So important. That's why focus is so important. And for people like me, somebody that's not really an avid planner, I just like to go with the flow, dude. Just like to go with the flow of life. You can't always do that. That's the whole point of us having one, knowing yourself. You know thyself. Know thyself. You have to know yourself. You got to know what in particular is gonna work for you. Because you would go online trying to hop for real solutions, self-help books, and honestly, those are solutions for them that work for them. The real ritual, the real work comes from you tuning in and you knowing the formula that is right for you, right? Boundaries are not a bound thing. It's not a bad thing. Boundaries are not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing to have. Even boundaries for yourself. It's the biggest thing that I'm learning. This is all just me growth and learning. I would never tell anybody something I wouldn't recommend or I haven't done personally, right? I stand by that, which is why I've been having such a hard time, thinking I can't come out as a teacher teaching anything, when really that's not the whole point. It's the point of I'm just spreading what I know right now, and I'm a student as well. So this is gonna be out to anybody that can resonate with this message, and you're trying and you're working towards growing. Because there's two ways you can go. You can step back into comfort, or you can step forward into growth. You can't have both. You can't be comfortable while you're growing. You can't have both. And I think a lot of us be trying to hold on to that. Well, I don't want to be uncomfortable. I want to have my comfort. Oh, I don't know. If you're really trying to grow, if you are genuine about, I gotta evolve, I have to be a better person than I was yesterday, you have to recognize, bro, you're not gonna be comfortable. You have to step into that uncomfortability. And even fear. You're not gonna always be fearless. This isn't the point to be apt or negate the fear. It's okay to have fear, but it's not okay to let that fear cripple you. That's not okay. You know what I'm saying? Well, I didn't do that because I was scared. All right. But at a certain point, maybe you should start looking at that fear. Because a lot of times we be treating symptoms. A lot of things that we treating are not the root of the problem. We're only treating the symptomatic, topical BS that we can see, that we can perceive, that has came and arisen to the surface. When a lot of it, 90% of our actions are unconscious, subconscious. You know what I mean? We aren't even knowingly doing it. It's just been ingrained in us, right? So my goal is to bring what's unconscious to the surface, getting to the root of my issue. And I think I'm starting to do that. The root of our issue, because, we are one and the same. And to understand yourself is understand the universe and everything, and understand the universe and vice versa. But I think one very important thing is to set boundaries for yourself, self-control. And the only way you can really set valuable boundaries for yourself is if you know where you're going, you know your vision. Otherwise, you just will continue giving. You'll keep exerting all your energy towards something. I don't know for sure, but something. Like, no, you gotta have a clear vision. A lot of times I'm talking to myself because I need to start honing in and clearing up my vision and what it means for me, right? But this is me taking steps to do that. And the big thing was I wanted to be perfect. I wanted to be right. It's like, I don't want to do something that's bad. It's just paradoxical. It's like, how are you going to do something that you've never done before and want to be good at it? This doesn't make sense. But that's why we have to recognize in between the two. Because we have a logic brain and an emotional. So we're in a constant state of trying to understand these two, trying to rifle between the two, which is where a lot of the suffering comes in. But I just really wanted to come out here and make a quick, concise video about how boundaries aren't only things that you just set outwards on other people. It's imperative. Self-control is a boundary. It's imperative that we have boundaries for ourselves, you know? It's like, nah, I don't do that. I can't do that because I'm doing this. I cannot get off the path. I can't open this can of worms because I already know that it's gonna mess up everything else that I'm striving to do, so that I'm going to do. But otherwise, if you don't have a clear vision, then shit, you can't see it. You have to have that vision in your mind's eye. Your mind's eye. And listen, I'm telling you, this is all stuff that I'm telling myself. This is a process. We growing together. You know what I'm saying? I can't do this alone. I keep fixing this hat. By the way, if you want to buy this hat, I made it. I might, you know what I'm saying? So if you want to buy the hat, links in the description. For sure. It's called Not Dead Yet. I mean, it's not just called Not Dead Yet. You're not dead yet. It's never too late to grow and evolve and change. And this is where this comes from. This is a long time coming in the making. Don't ever think it's your past the time to change. What? It's too late to change. Never. It's never too late to change. For the better. I mean, how many of us unconsciously change for the worse? So that's all. It's conscious. Be conscious and aware. But I'm gonna leave it at that. I want to make a short, sweet, simple video about what I just said in the affirmation. If you didn't catch everything, that's why we got a replay button. You feel me? It is J, the OCA, the overcover. Overcover agent for conscious and constructive change. Peace be with you all. Ashe. And y'all have the happiest of new days. Signing out. Oh.